Welcome, everyone, to Second Saturday Tarot. I am so excited to be here, as I always am. I get so excited about this class. Today, I'm talking about the Tree of Death and Darkness, which I began because we are in the dark time of the year. Right now, it is November, a perfect time to edge into this material. So today I'm going to be sharing quite a bit about the minor arcana being life situation cards. And right now what we're looking at is we're looking at the tree of life with a lot of cards hanging upside down as leaves and falling on the ground for the fall. So here we go, looking into what happens when things go out of order, when things are reversed. So we begin in this life by coming in, moving in out of the field, out of the dark matter, the dark energy. We come together, we congeal, and we become a one. So the zero is all that is and all possibility, and you already know that it is represented by the Fool in the tarot deck. Here's the zero, all possibility, everything that could happen, flying into the world and becoming as this, for example, human baby. So here we are as this human baby emerging, asking these questions that the one begins to ask, the singular one, the individual one, the one that could only be you or me. We ask, what? What is happening? Where are we? What time is it? How could this be? Why am I here? Who is with me? And who am I with? All of those major, major questions. Now, the two exalted, what does that mean? This represents the twos in their upright position, the twos in the tarot deck. And I have chosen to use an image of twins coming in together with another in the womb. This is the perfect image of two. The two of fire is convergence. It represents strong spiritual connection. Mars in Aries. Two of water is called sacred cord. And sacred cord is all about deep love. Venus in Cancer, love in Cancer. And then the two of wind, the crossing. This is all about important patterns being revealed in this place of changeability in Libra, the moon in Libra. Things will always be moving, and we will be looking for the patterns here. The two of earth, cause and effect. Intention matters. That's what we learn. Jupiter in Capricorn. So Jupiter is expansion. Capricorn is the earth plane. So as things move, as things expand, we learn that we can cause certain, excuse me, certain effects to come in and to result by setting our intention on what we want to happen. Here is what happens in the two reversed. When those twos go upside down, we feel like something is lost. We feel like something is missing. We ask, what is missing? Who is missing? In the fire convergence, that's the number two of fire, we feel like there's missing spirit. Our spirit is not enlivened. It is not moving forward. In the water, we may feel something like a missing heartbeat. Where is the other? In air, in wind, missing alliance. Where is our support system? Who do we need? What needs to be there? And then in earth, it might even feel like a missing person. And the reason that I decided to use these twin pictures to demonstrate this information is because I worked in birth for many, many years in childbirth. And one of the things that we learn in childbirth is that there is a very large loss of a twin in utero very early on. And the woman, the mother, may have no idea that she has lost one of the twins because it's very early on. But it's possible that the twin somehow carries a loss. Okay, so this is one of the things that people talk about in the field of childbirth sometimes. What about if there's a missing twin? So I decided to use this because it's something that we're seeking. Then we try to find our lost twin. Now here's the three exalted, the three of fire, three of water, three of wind, three of earth. The three is the sanctifying intelligence. The three is the blessing. And here is a model family. And I'm laughing about this a little bit because I want to say these people are models. They are models. Okay, model family. The three of fire, the birth of light. Sun in Aries, the sun shining in newness, in the new that is going to come about. Inspired devotion is the meaning of that. And then the three of water, stream of love, Mercury in Cancer, dwelling in grace. And Mercury in Cancer is all about communication within the family, within the home, things being known. And then three of wind, recognition, Saturn in Libra. The Saturn here is about pleasing form, pleasing stages of growth, pleasing recognition. Happy birthdays. Okay, and then the three of earth works Mars in Capricorn. So Mars is energy, Mars is movement, movement on or within the material plane. This is all about design, movement designed in cosmic alignment and for cosmic alignment, because this is the three of earth works. We make it happen. We move toward making it happen. So this, again, this is the three exalted, the three exalted. It doesn't always happen this way, though. The three can reverse. This is when you draw a reversal in the tarot, for example. What is the three of fire, three of water, three of wind, three of earth reversed, three of fire? There's no birth of light. There's no sun in Aries. There's only darkness. Three of water, no state of grace, no communication, no Mercury in Cancer in the home, a home without communication. This is a complete reversal. Three of wind, no wings. This is on the three of wind, what we see is we see butterfly wings emerging from a metamorphosis. And it's a pleasing form that takes place and that moves out into the world. But here we see no Saturn in Libra. There are no wings and there's no right form or balanced movement happening. And then the three of earth. It doesn't work. It's turned over. There's no energy to move on the material plane, and especially no energy to overcome obstacles, which is a big part of what that energy of the three of works does. It overcomes obstacles. The three reversed. Okay, here, it isn't nice. It doesn't work. And this is a lot of what we deal with in our lives, a lot of what we deal with as children, as parents in the world. It doesn't work and it's not nice. So that is the 3 reversed. And now we go to the 4s. I'm not going to do all of the cards. I'm only looking at some of them to give you an example of how you can work with this material. So the 4 exalted, stability. Okay, so this stability, this is it. Here we have an oak tree. The oak tree is a perfect example of stability because the branches reach into the sky, and as high as the branches reach into the sky, the roots reach into the earth, deep into the earth. So it's a very stable tree. The oak is a symbol of stability and solidity and perpetuity, hardness. Okay, so the 4 exalted is stability. The 4 reversed, burning times, fire. The 4 reversed is when the 4 doesn't hold. So the 4 is all about stability. The 4 reversed is the 4 not holding. Well, what we learned is that death stands behind all the 4s. So what is this about? This is death in number 13. And 13, it's a simple numerological equation. 13 is 1 plus 3 is 4. 1 plus 3, 13, 4. Okay, so behind the 4 of fire, which is an exalted spiritual place that is solid, comes death, because these cards are always moving and they're never going to be still forever. Then we have the 4 of water, which we'll talk about in a minute. 4 of water is the rising energy of water growing and growing and growing. Then we have the 4 of wind, which is actually mastery, because wind is the suit of consciousness, of the intellect, of intellectual understanding, and so on. And in the number 4 is when we come to a place of mastery. It's where we completely get it, where we get it pinned down. Okay, and then the 4 of earth, which is power. Well, standing right behind the power is the disruption of the power, death. And now to talk about the 4 of water for a minute, because not all of the cards across the board on the 4 are going to be exactly the same. The 4s are all about stability, but the fire has its own energy, the water has its own energy, the wind has its own energy, and the earth has its own energy. So it's very important that we look at the elements and that we study the elements to be able to interpret these cards and understand the fullness of the tree of life. So the 4 of water, with this water rising, what we find is that the 4 or the water needs containment because too much can be created. So in the suit of water, as you already know, the suit of water is about emotion. The suit of water is about the heart and about emotion and about rising emotion and emotion becoming full. I think of the 4 of water as satiation, and we can't take any more after a while. We can't hold it anymore. We need to contain the energy. We need to have a way to hold the energy, or we wind up with a flood. Okay, so for the 4 of water, stability is some kind of containment. One way that we can contain the energies is with a vow. Okay, and the reason I say this is because when we look at this Four of Water card, we see a wedding ring in the middle of the card. So it's as if we're looking through the ring, the wedding ring, and there are tears on the top of the card that keep falling, falling, falling. We see an ocean, a turbulent sea in the card. We're looking at a harbor in the distance. Okay, what is the wedding ring about? The wedding ring has to do with making a vow that can contain all the emotional energy, no matter where that energy is going, good, bad, whatever. Okay, to be stable, we need something ongoing. So a vow can help us. Now, the fives, when we get to the fives in tarot, we find that the five itself is inherently unstable. So we've got a building that goes through 1, 2, 3, and 4. The energy builds, and when the cards are upright, it's a good kind of building that winds up in a pretty solid 4. But then with death standing behind the 4, it will disrupt the process and take us into the 5. And all of the 5s are disrupted energies. So the 5s become a place of chaos. All the 5s, chaotic, unknown movement, what's going to happen here. So the 5 of fire, which is the spiritual suit, is about struggle. The 5 of water, the emotional suit, is called spilling, and that's where our cups tip over, our lifeblood seems to run out. And there we have that wedding ring in the middle to remind us of a way to move the energy forward by renewing our vow. And it doesn't have to be to an individual, it can be a vow to the universe, to ourselves. Okay, it doesn't have to be to a mate or something like that. It's a vow to ourselves in the way we're going to move forward. It could be to a mate, though. Okay, and then the 5 of wind, the suit of consciousness, fear. Fear arises, and that follows the mastery card. And now we're in fear. Okay, and then we get to the earth, which is the nadir. Okay, that's the low point on earth. The nadir is the low point. So we enter into the low point where things are coming apart, and that could be natural disasters or illness. All kinds of things come up with the 5 of earth on the material plane. So in the 5, what we're doing is we are striving to find the way. So those 4 5s are related to the Hierophant, which is the number 5 in the major arcana, because the Hierophant also stands behind the 5s, and the 5s are within the Hierophant, and the Hierophant has to go through the struggle of searching to find the way through 5 energy. And for me, this card, the Hierophant card, I see this as a very shamanic card, trying to find the way through hardship, through difficulty, and trying to find the way internally. And then when the Hierophant emerges from that struggle, the Hierophant can be fit to be a healer, having understood the mysteries of disease and death and the other things that we can become afflicted with. Also, note, please, that temperance stands behind the Hierophant. Okay, temperance is the tarot card number 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. So we see these sequences throughout the tarot. So we have the 5s, we have the Hierophant, and we have the temperance card, and they're all related. Temperance is about trying to find the way spiritually. It's about balancing between the dark and the light and trying to balance amid the movement and keep ourselves focused on the direction we want to go in. 5 then is a built-in reversal. So right in the middle of the suit of tarot, in the tarot suits, whether it's fire, water, wind, or earth, right in the middle is the 5. So in every suit, the 5 is going to show up as something like a reversal of the whole suit. Great difficulty. spiritual agony. That's the 5 of fire, struggle. The 5 of water is all about emotional devastation, the broken heart. The 5 of wind is about fear and terror and not being able to see the future and where things are headed. The 5 of earth is about natural disaster. The 5 of earth is also about war. The 5 of earth is about pain and suffering. All of these things that happen in the material world that are so difficult for us as humans. These reversals, I'm going to call them all reversals, the 5s, and when the cards are reversed, can completely debilitate us. We can feel a sense of anguish, a sense of pain, a sense of melancholy, heartache, grief, sadness, let down, heartbreak. This can be so bad sometimes that it can completely take us down. The 5s happen. 5s happen to us. They happen to everyone. 5s happen. 5 happens. Reversals happen. And when this happens, our heart can become so hurt and broken. And this broken heart that we have within ourselves can scar. And when our heart becomes scarred, we feel a lot of times like we can't go forward, or we don't want to repeat that mistake again, whatever it might be. When it gets so bad that we can't deal with it, sometimes the whole tree of life goes dark. All of the upright cards can reverse, and that is called the tree of death. It's said that this tree of death stands behind the tree of life. The tree of death is also called side B of the tree of life. It's also called the qliphoth tree. Side A is called the sephiroth. Side B is called the qliphoth. Okay, sephiroth means book, as in the books of cosmic law. So when you have 10 cards on the tree upright, you are, in a certain sense, reading the books of cosmic law. Like if you look at the number 1 on the top of the tree, you could go into the number 1 and read it in the sense of reading all the pages of what the number 1 means. Okay, so qliphoth or qliphoth means shell. So this is side B now. So that word means shell or shells. So the shell, which is side B, or the dark side, or the tree of death, the shell is empty, empty, an empty shell. The shell where there is supposed to be something. There's supposed to be life. What might have been, what could be, what should be. So I think of, for example, imagine a snail in a shell full of life, and then imagine the snail dies and all you have is the shell with no living creature. That's the qliphoth. That's the dark side. That is the dark side of the tree of life. When things get so bad sometimes, when we get lost, we can actually find ourselves slipping through the veil, as they say, to side B of the tree. And now everything goes dark. All those cards are reversed. Everything turns upside down. Side B of the tree of life. And now let me mention the mystery card, because so many of you know the mystery card as a doorway. And it's a doorway that lives, you might say, near the tree, not on the tree, but near the tree. And sometimes we find this doorway. It's secret sphere number 11. Sometimes we find this doorway on the tree of life, the door of knowledge, it's called. And we will walk through that doorway or move through that doorway and learn something. But that mystery card is not necessarily a doorway into side B. So I want to clarify that, because the mystery card can be a doorway that can take us into a completely different dimension. And within this dimension that the mystery card can take us into, it can be like slipping into a dark night of the soul. But what we find out is that we're guided, we have help. All of these things can move us. It's this card, the mystery card. The runes on the mystery card spell out midwife of birth, death, and karmic transition. Birth, death, and karmic transition. So we can be midwifed through all these things. But the mystery card does not live on side B. Maybe it lives between side A and side B. Okay, so we're just going to hold that. And I have other YouTubes on the mystery card that you can look at. Right now, I want to go into the suit of water, just to give you an example. Here's the suit of water, side A and side B. So this is the meaning of a complete reversal from side A to side B. I want to take the suit of water because the suit of water is so powerful in our lives because it has to do with our heart. So now take the one of water. Side A is all about the open heart, having this open heart, feeling our hearts open. It's called open channel. And it's really about receiving, receiving, receiving. Then you look at side B when it's reversed, and that's where the heart closes and cannot receive. Shut down. Two of water. In the two of water, we're fully connected. This is a sacred marriage card. We're feeling a state of attraction that's really strong, and it's, in a sense, consummated. It's a beautiful place to be. Two of water, side B, failed connection. The connection doesn't work. We can't connect. It's a state of disconnect. Three of water, filling with love. The card's called State of Grace. And it's where we feel filled, 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 filled. Three of water reversed, side B, emptiness. Everything drains out. It's like the cups are turned over and everything is gone. No more state of grace, just emptiness. Four of water, satiation, but it's also fullness, but it's getting really full because as I mentioned before, water's a little different because we need a way to control those energies of water rising. But satiation, we're going to go with satiation for the four of water. And then the other side of the four of water reversed, is insatiable thirst. No matter how much there is, no matter how much is coming to you emotionally, it's not enough. It will not quench your thirst. And when I think of this card, four of water reverse, sometimes I think of that Tibetan concept of the hungry ghosts that travel the astral plane. They can never find enough to fulfill them. The hungry ghosts. Okay, then the five of water. Okay, so the five of water is that built-in reversal in the suit of water. It lives right in the middle of the suit of water, and it is about a broken heart. So every suit, as I already mentioned, has the five in it, and the five is a built-in reversal. Okay, well, what's on the other side of that built-in reversal? Heart medicine, something that's going to help us reverse the movement. So even if we look at this picture, you can almost see this flow of energy that moves up into the dark pyramid of the past, which is a symbol in Tarot of the Spirit, and begins to fill it from underneath. So we're going to call it heart medicine. So this 5 is going to be different. I mean, all the 5s are different than the flow of the rest of the reversals. Okay, 6 of water, faith, faith. So when the 6 of water is reversed, when we lose our feeling that we're supported, when we don't feel that sense of buoyancy anymore, what happens? Doubt. We move into a place of doubt and uncertainty. 7 of water. 7 of water upright is about gaining insight. That's side A. No matter how much we're sloshing around, we're gaining insight in the process. 7 of water reversed, seeing no possibility. There's no way to right this upside down feeling. Yeah. No way to open that third eye. The third eye is what gives us the insight, opening to a bigger picture. But when it's reversed, we can't see what's happening. 8 of water. Here's where we plant seeds. We create this future that's beautiful and that will be nurtured and that will grow up into something positive. Reversed, barren future. It's like planting seeds in ice, in snow. Maybe they'll come up sometime, but not now. It feels completely barren to us. 9 of water, joyful relationships, enough love left over to flow through and to sustain other people even with our love. And you can see that there's also a wedding ring right in the middle of that card. That is all about our vow to be in a state of joy and to serve others. Well, 9 of water reversed, loneliness. Okay, so now you see where we're headed with all these reversals. 10 of water, a burst of love. So this follows the 9 of water, and now there's love just bursting out of us. 10 of water reversed, the well is dry. We can not only not sustain others, but we can't even sustain ourselves. This is a card of happiness, and the furthest thing from where we are in this place is we're so far from happiness. We are so far from happiness. We're just dry and empty. Okay, water brother. So water brother upright, there's darkness in this card too. The water brother is standing in the dark water, but processing by pulling in that water, transforming any darkness that's in that water into light, into gifts to bring into the world. So it's kind of like a Tibetan tanka, where the lotus grows up out of the muck and the mire and the darkness, opens up, and inside is the pure, clear being. That's water brother. Well, water brother reversed, all that love dissolves into darkness. The water brother is a winged being, a morphed being. But on side B of the tree of life, the water brother can't fly, loses his wings too wet to move, nowhere to go. Channel shut down. Water sister is living love on earth. All the sisters are related to bringing their elemental force, fire, water, wind, or earth, to earth and enacting that on earth, all the sisters. So the water sister is living her love on the planet supported, things flowing beautifully. And then on side B, it's a disconnect. I put walking disconnect here because there's no love flowing through. It's just like cutting off the channel. Water. Water is a suit that impacts us so greatly because it is our soul memory. It carries our soul memory, the suit of water. It gets carved on our heart. Everything that happens to us emotionally as we move through life, it's carved inside of us on our heart. So this suit of emotion, water, can carry our wounds all the way through time. So here is the tree of life again. And now I want to show you what the suit of water looks like on the whole tree of life. So in the number 1 of water, up at the top of the tree, closed heart. Number 2, failed connection. Number 3, emptiness. Number 4, insatiable thirst. Number 5, here is a ray of light because there's a reversal in the middle of the tree of death, and that's at the number 5. Just like there's a built-in reversal on the tree of life, it's a number 5. On the tree of death, built-in reversal, number 5. Okay, so what if we find a way to start working with our heart to heal? Okay, number 6 on the tree of death in the suit of water, doubt. Number 7, seeing no possibility for movement. Number 8, feeling a barren future. Number 9, feeling loneliness. Number 10, feeling a dry well. And I just used 2 examples of the family. There are 4 family members, but I'm giving you examples of how you can use it. So here are 2 examples of the brother and the sister. The brother, love dissolves into darkness, and the sister, walking disconnect. So that is the tree of life reversed in water, and the feeling of being completely emotionally dark or depleted. So here's where the whole tree goes dark. And once again, in that position of the number 5, it is possible in the darkness of the dark tree, the tree of death, that this one light might be dimly shining, some kind of medicine. The question that arises is, how can we free these blocked energies within the tree? And here I showed the lovers blocked, reversed. We can't get to love. We can't get to healing. The lovers is number 6. That's where we want to be. We want to be in that state of faith. That's the number 6 of water. And who stands right behind the lovers? The devil. Why? The devil is also a built-in place of darkness in the tarot. The devil is the number 15 in the major arcana. 1 plus 5 is 6, which relates to the lovers. So the devil is always standing behind the lovers. And so there are these energies that we are always needing to work with. And when I wrote here, how will we free the blocked energies? What I was feeling in that moment was, how will we free the river of life so it flows again? How will we free all the blockages in the arteries? How will we free the blockages in the veins so that everything can flow and the heart can be alive? How will we find a way to grow and love again? And here I have used the overused metaphor of the flower growing out of the crack in the cement when everything is covered over. It's overused, but it's overused because it works. It's a really good metaphor to think about. Reawakening. How can we find a way to feed and nurture the heart again and to grow our love again, to blossom again like a beautiful flower? We can reawaken the living tree of life within and without. We can return from our journey into darkness with wisdom. And our journey into darkness is like a dark night of the soul. So, how do we begin to move back, to move out, to reawaken? First of all, let's know where we want to go. Here's the tree of life upright, all the cards upright in the suit of water. So this is a summary again. Number one, open heart. Number two, this is where we want to be, fully connected. Number three, filling with love. Number four, satiated, but in a good way. Number five, that's the built-in reversal, broken heart. Okay, we don't want to be in a state of broken heart. So what's the other side of that? Well, one way, not the only way, one way through is to create healthy boundaries to protect ourselves. We do want to open up again, but we also want healthy boundaries. Okay, 6, faith. We want to restore our faith. 7, regain insight. 8, establish a creative future. 9, enter into joyful relationships. 10, be able to burst with love. This is where we want to be. The brother, darkness lit with love. That's what we want. The illumination of our darkness, illuminated by love. This is in the suit of water. And as the sister, we want to go forward as living love on earth. So here in the picture, I'm showing the water mother with the tree overlaid. And you see in that 5 of water position, the 5, that's where that light is dimly shining. And another thing that I would like to point out to you about the water mother is the love of love. All the mothers relate to love, and the suit of water relates to love. And water mother is the love of love. She is the love of the universe, the divine feminine, the beauty of the universe. And here in this picture, when you look at your tarot card, and I suggest you pull it out and look at it for Water Mother, you're going to see that she, in fact, in the tarot card, you may not be able to see it here clearly, but crossing the front of her is her arm like this with a fist. It's the arm with a fist. Okay. And she says, yes, I am the love of the universe. I also have healthy boundaries. So I am creating a boundary. And if I don't feel comfortable, if my intuition tells me I'm going to block this energy from coming to me. Okay. The suit of water is also about intuition. So it's the suit of intuition, the suit of psychic knowing, paying attention to the depth of ourselves. It is the place of our interoception. That means tuning into what our organs are telling us. So our organs are always speaking to us. For example, if you feel butterflies in your solar plexus or your abdomen, it's telling you something. If you feel a headache in certain situations, your body is speaking to you. Pay attention. Okay, sip of water. Pay attention to your whole body. It's always talking to you, always teaching. So the 5s, again, this is a summary. The 5s are reversals by nature, built-in reversals. The fives grow our wisdom and reveal the way. And as it turns out, five can also become our doorway back. The fives can help us shift our focus. That's our doorway back if everything is reversed. So the five of fire, if our spirit's broken, the five can help us change that into a dancing spirit. And that would be like a horse dancing on the earth rather than plodding back to the stable. Five water, heart medicine can help us mend the broken heart that we feel. Five of wind, faith can replace fear. Five of earth, transcending tragedy in some way. So in the end, as we deepen into the five energy, we learn more about healing and more about becoming whole. In this particular process, we learn more about healing and wholeness. You know, wholeness means healing. To become whole means to heal. We learn more about healing and becoming whole from the fives than from any other cards in the deck. So the Hierophant, again, that's the number 5 in the major arcana. The would-be healer immerses in the power of 5 to find the way. And the big key here is transcending a sense of victimization, not turning our adversity into our complete identity. And I know this is hard. This is a very hard thing. And sometimes I could call this what I call big talk, big talk, because it's not that easy. But we can start to move our sense of ourselves out of victimization and begin to claim a new identity. How can we do this? Well, so simply, very simply, with the tarot, one way to start moving the energy, one way to begin to find our way back into the living tree of life is to simply draw a card. Draw another card. See what direction you can begin to go in. Here are some things that we need to know when we're looking at this and when we're deepening into this side B, or even when we're doing readings with side A, you know, when everything's turned upright. Just know that every card is a cycle. This is number 1. Every card is a cycle. Take the 9 of water, for example, which I was just talking about a minute ago. So 9 of water, upright, means joyful relationships. Reversed, it means loneliness. So we see the upright on this slide and we see the completely reversed. But the whole thing is actually a cycle. It's not just up or down. The whole thing is cycling. So at the top, everything is good. Then as it starts to move, we find ourselves maybe beginning to crash into loneliness. And then eventually we find ourselves in a place of loneliness. Then we can feel ourselves beginning to come out of it and back into a place of joyful relationships. So when you do a reading or when you're working with the cards, you need to intuit, where am I in the cycle? Or where is this other person in the cycle if you're reading someone else or for someone else? Use your intuition. That's your interoception. What's your body telling you? What does all your knowledge tell you? Everything you've learned, everything you know, everything you've experienced, plus your intuition. Know that tarot is a wheel. It's not that there are only 2 choices in this life, this or that, up and down, right and wrong, any polarized forces. With the tarot, there are 79 cards and 79 possibilities. And when you start doing readings with these cards, that number of possibilities increases exponentially. So the tarot itself is a wheel. It's an entire cycle of experience. And each card within that wheel is a cycle within a cycle. And the wheel is always moving. Okay, so we're looking at how to potentially move out of a place of being stuck on side B and on the tree of life, or in any particular experience that feels reversed. So we can draw a card, we can meditate on it. So here's an experiment that I did myself with the 9 of water, representing loneliness, symbolizing loneliness. So I ask the question, here I have this reverse card, and I ask the question, how will I cure my loneliness? How will I manage to fill my life with positive, joyful, fun, wonderful, meaningful relationships? How will I bring the 9 of water into an upright position? So what I do is I mix up the deck, I shuffle the deck, shuffle, 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 and then I draw another card. Well, so I drew the sun. Okay, perfect. Yes, that's where I want to be. I want to be in a beautiful garden at the top of the tower, meaning after the tower has come down and been rebuilt and it's beautiful now. The sun is shining, relationship is bright and new, everything is transparent, it's positive, it's joyful. That is where I want to be. However, the sun. Okay, so I'm feeling really lonely. I draw the sun, and the sun seems almost unattainable. How am I going to get there? Can I just flip my consciousness entirely and become bright and brilliant like the sun? And it feels like too much. So I say, okay, how can I move closer to the light of the sun? So I draw another card to help me move the energies of the path. And this card is the 6 of earth, beauty. Well, I know, so I work with the cards all the time. The actual name of this card, which for whatever reasons did not get on the Tarot of the Spirit deck, but the actual name for those who have ears to hear is the Beauty Way. This card is the Beauty Way card. It's the moon in Taurus, and the moon is changeability. Taurus is the physical plane, our lives. So how do we walk in beauty? This is a question. How do we walk in beauty through all these changes that we go through on the material plane? How do we continue to walk in beauty? And now I realize that if I want to move into the sun, if I want to cure my loneliness with joyful relationships, I have to walk the beauty way. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty to the right of me, beauty to the left of me, beauty above me, beauty below me, beauty all around me, beauty inside me. Well, that definitely means I'm going to have to change my attitude, but how will I do that? Because now I realize I've been in a mental state of aridity, arid, empty, hollow, the shells, ugly. So here's beauty, the moon in Taurus, finding beauty inner and outer throughout all the changing times. So the message is don't give up. The message is this is going to be a practice. It's going to require a practice. For me to change is going to require some kind of new practice, and I'll call that a spiritual practice. So now I asked, I have to get another card. Well, okay, I'll practice. Well, how do I do that? How do I activate a practice? So you see, I'm interacting with the cards all the way along. So I draw another card. It's the Emperor. Like, the Emperor? What does that have to do with practice? But it's a number 4. That's stability, like that oak tree we saw. It's Aries, It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning in stabilization. And then I remember some things I know about the emperor. The emperor sees through mystical windows. That's why he remains a leader for the people. He sees things that the people can't see. He is also called the constituting intelligence. That's the intelligence assigned to the emperor. So here you can read about it, you can study it, you can go deeper if you don't understand that card immediately, whatever you draw. So the emperor serves the people, he is a leader. So I think, okay, if I want to create joyful relationships in my life, if I want to move out of a state of loneliness and into joyful relationships, I need to serve the people. I need to consider what my own constitution is, and I need to constitute a new plan of action, a new practice. So now I'm just thinking about that and kind of planting that seed. So the next step for me will be meditate on that. And then I remember other things I've learned because everything we know comes into working with the tarot. It's not a void. And now I remember, oh, the Dalai Lama. So when I studied at the feet of the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama says to us, study your internal energy, study your own internal energy, own your own internal energy. So he asked us, what are you most afraid of? Think about what you're most afraid of. Are you most afraid of not having food? Are you most afraid of not having shelter, for example? And he said, if you think you won't have enough food, go out and feed people, and you will always have food. If you think that you won't have shelter, shelter people, and you will always have shelter. Whatever you fear or think you lack, he said, provide it for others. So then I think, oh, the Dalai Lama. Yeah. So I think, what would he say about loneliness? Well, maybe if I feel lonely, I could enter into a new practice by providing joyful relationships for other people. I could provide joy for other people and help, that would help me shift my mental attitude. Another part of what he was saying the very same day, that very same day, he said, not only study your internal energy, but study your internal enemy, which I found extremely interesting as well. So he says, even your worst enemy isn't thinking about you all the time. Even your very worst enemy might leave the field, whatever that is, and go have dinner, not thinking about you at all. But you, all the time, are thinking about your own internal enemy. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that internal enemy can pop up within your own self. Think about what inside you is debilitating you, that internal enemy, and see how you can work those energies as well. So thank you, Dalai Lama. That I learned a lot of things during that wonderful retreat. So I begin to reimagine myself. So here I've got these cards. I have the sun, I have the six of earth, and I have the emperor. Okay, so how will I work with those energies? The sun is where I want to be, shining brightly at the top of the tower in the Garden of Eden, so to speak. The six of earth is my practice that I need to move into. That's practicing the beauty way. How will I do it? By reconstituting myself. That's the emperor, reconstituting. who I think I am and what I think I know. And right now I'm seeing on this card as I look at it, he's looking through the Venusian cross, which is the divine feminine. And that is how he is receiving those energies. And he's holding the staff of Aries, which is a new beginning. Okay, so these things, this is what comes to me with these three cards. I am joyful relationship with the sun. I am joyful relationship. So this is going to move me out of loneliness. It's a start. I practice joy. So whenever I find myself practicing loneliness, I flip the script and say, no, I'm going to practice joy. When I'm out walking my dog, I'm going to be joyful on the trail, and I'm not going to be part of the energy that's bringing everything down. I serve others joyously. That's the exalted emperor. Well, this overcoming victimization may take a lot of work, and I'm talking about my own self. Still, I'm talking about overcoming loneliness. It may not be that easy. It may take hard work for me to alter an internalized sense of victimization. Why am I lonely? It's because this person did this and this person did that, for example. This is how we think. Okay, what happens if I realize that the whole tree of life, the entire wheel of tarot lives inside me, and that it lives inside each and every one of us? And then I begin to rethink everything, and I see, oh, yes, see, the exalted emperor is about constituting a life and a world based on your own most exalted values in service. That's the exalted emperor. Well, the emperor reversed might be something like megalomania or repression or oppression, something like that. Dictatorship is a different kind of, it's not service, okay? It's repression. That's the emperor reversed. That's not the emperor upright. We all want to be the emperor of our own lives in an upright and beautiful way. Okay, so how are we going to constitute a life? So I'm back to the Dalai Lama. Okay, so for example, if I fear war, so this is a question I'm asking myself, if I fear war, should I then study peace? That's the opposite. How can I move out of war? So I'm asking myself, is that correct? So at the same time, I need to remember that my worst enemy and what will keep me locked in is my own self. So the cards are going to help me realize and remember and own my own interior. And the cards have taught me that I contain the potential of the whole human species, both exalted and reversed. And it's not just a choice between this and that. 79 cards we have to help teach us. So the idea is we really have 80 if we include the mystery card there. Study yourself and draw a card to help address your wounds and see what happens. And then let the process flow, let it move, and let it begin to change you, teach you, and change you. So to upright or reversal, this is a summary. So we're still looking at the 9 of water. Okay, know that every single card is a cycle. Remember, it's got its upright part, turn it completely over, but there's the downward cycle and then there's an upward cycle. So you have that cycling of every single tarot card. Tarot is a wheel of 79 possibilities, not A or B, just A or B, not this or that, not black or white, not red or blue, but 79 possibilities. So draw a card. That's number 3. Draw a card. Number 4, create a practice to start moving the energies. Number 5, study your own internal energies. And number 6, reimagine yourself. So I'm looking at this card again, back to the 9 of water. And now I see the ring in the middle again. The ring, the ring, the ring. Okay, this is the wedding ring. I can make a vow here, a vow to help me remember. And if I wanted to go this far, I could even symbolize that vow with a ring or some kind of totem that I could carry with me. But let's pretend like it's a ring. I want to remember my vow. I want to know that the picture's bigger than I was thinking. The card cycle, 79 possibilities, a practice, internal energies, reimagine yourself. Well, how do I want to reimagine myself? As a purveyor of happiness. Let's put it that way. Okay, so I could take a ring, I could ritualize it or ceremonialize it if I want to. I could do a little ceremony. I could put that ring on just all by myself. And I could say, this is going to remind me, this ring is going to remind me that I want to live in a state of happiness and I want to bring that to others. Okay, then number 7, let the cards keep teaching you. Keep working with these energies because you will learn all these different ways of understanding the energies, and the whole deck lives within you and also all around you. So tarot is not 1 or 2 possibilities, but many possibilities. So draw a card to change your life when the time is right for you. And let these cards keep teaching you. Let them come alive as the living tree of life. And when it feels like they're reversed and your life is going down and it feels like you're going into the darkness, start working with the tarot. It can be a huge help. Practice, realign, reverse your reversals inside and out. Okay, so here are 3 major arcana cards that are also built in reversals in the major arcana. Just to give you a feel, death, how do we reverse it? Live life fully. Meditating on death can help us live a fuller life. We don't know how long we're going to live, but between now and the end, let us live fully. Okay, with the devil's about a narrow vision. We can expand our vision to free ourselves from the chains. And then the tower is about vibration. The tower comes down because of a vibration that shakes it down. Well, a new vibration is going to raise a new tower. So the idea is move into a higher vibration within yourself, find that vibration within yourself, and begin to transcend that which feels like it's crumbling or could feel like it's crumbling. And here are just some notes for me. I don't usually read reversals myself. Here's why. I keep my cards upright. So if there's a reversal, which I do get reversals, I feel like it's really meant to be. So you can see on the back of the cards here that the top of the card is orange. It's these orange intertwined snakes, and whatever, intertwined snakes, it's about healing. And then the bottom of the card is green. So orange, green. So if your card, if the green side is on the top, you've got a reversal. If you're looking at the cards upside down. Okay, so I keep my cards upright, so there really won't be that many reversals. If there are reversals, I go into it deeply. And remember, the 5s are built in reversals. They're supposed to be there. Also, cards such as death, temperance, the devil, and the tower, which can be very difficult, they're in there for a reason. They are big teachers for us. Every card is a teacher. Pay attention, go deeper, draw a card, and begin to realign. Okay, now this is for you to play with a 3-card reading with reversals, just a 3-card reading, just to make it really easy. So ask a question, and the question that I'm asking today, and I'd like to encourage you to ask this question yourself. What do I need to let go of? What do I need to release? Okay, so I ask the question, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release? I shuffle the deck really well, and then I put 3 cards out face down, and the number 2 card is reversed, the one in the middle. Okay, so the first card is going to represent the issue. I'm asking, what do I need to let go of? That's the issue number 1. That's going to explain what I need to let go of. Then number 2 in the middle is the action to take. Well, in this case, that card's reversed. So I have to figure out how I will read that card. But that's the action I want to take and I want to go for. And then number 3 is the outcome. Okay, what will happen if I do this? If I take this action, and how will it impact the issue? Okay, so I'm going to go forward now on the slides, but you can come back to this and look at this reading if you need to again, just so that you can do it yourself. Okay, now I did this actual reading, and I did it the day after a divisive national election. I asked the question, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release? And here is the spread I got. This is the very spread that you saw on the last slide. Turns out it's the 2 of earth, cause and effect. So I'm asking the question with this card. That's what it's called, cause and effect. What can I control? What can't I control? And it also has to do with what kind of cause do I want to be? What do I want to be the cause of? So it's a lot of uncertainty, because this is the card that requires intention. And it's almost like asking, how can I set my intention? This card, 2 of earth, cause and effect. Okay, so the action to take, I turn over the card, it's the priestess. She's upside down. Well, the priestess is reading the Akashic records, and she's pointing to your name, so that would be my name, on the Akashic records, and she's saying, here is your moment, here is your time in the book of life. How will you live your story? What will you write into the overarching book of life? And she's got her third eye open. She's knowing the past, the present, and the future. And she's pulling all that together into a life story, but she's reversed, which brings up the question for me, oh, I may not be claiming my story. So what I need to do is I need to reclaim the power of my own story. That's the action. I'm going to call that action of remembering the story, the action, remembering who you are is going to be the action of how you are going to free yourself into being exactly who you are. This is what I'm looking at in this particular reading. I need to upright that card by remembering who I am and being who I am. Okay, what will the outcome be then? Faith. Faith is going to be the result. 6 of water, faith. I will be able to return to having faith in myself, in my support system, and in the world, if I am living the story that I was meant to live. So this is this 3-card reading. So in conclusion here, you can use the tarot, you can use the tarot cards to move the energies, personal and collective. Occupy your own story. Live your own story, exalt your own story. And this is a way you can move through the tree of death and the tree of darkness back into the tree of life. Constitute your own path, be your path, walk your path. And now we're coming to an end, and I just want to say thank you so much for being with me today. I so appreciate you, and I am so happy that we are able to walk this path together. So thank you, thank you, thank you.